All right, here's problem 19. This is a little challenging SAT question where you really have to be able to sort of put things in pairs and think things through. It says, how many ordered pairs of integers, now integers meaning there's positives and negatives, x, y, satisfy this equation here where x squared plus y squared is going to be smaller than 9. Now think about it. X can't be a 3 because no matter what you do, this is always going to be positive. Our answer is always going to be positive here, whether we use negative or positive. A negative number squared is going to give us positive. So I know these x's and y's have to stay with zeros, ones, and twos, the highest any of them can get. So let's start off and let's think, okay, what about when x is 0? If that's 0, I could use a 1 here. 0 squared plus 1 squared would be less than 9. Don't forget you could also have negative 1. Wherever there's going to be a positive, we're also going to have the negative. And I'm just going to list it out like this, 0, negative 1. You could have 0 and you could have positive 2, or 0 and negative 2. You can't go any further because you can't do 0 and 3 because that'll bump it over. It'll make it equal to 9 and it can't be equal. So we've used x 0. Let's come in and use x being a positive 1. Well, when it's a positive 1, y could be a 0. When it's a positive 1, the y could be a 1. 1 squared plus 1 squared is going to be less. Don't forget there's the negative 1. What about when x is 1, could y be a 2? Yeah, 1 squared plus 2 squared, that's just 5. That's going to stay less. And then you're going to have the negative 2. Now, we've listed all if it's 1. Don't forget, what about if it's negative 1? You're going to have all the same solutions. Negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, 2, and negative 1, negative 2. So I just went through and put negative on others. That gives me 5 more. Now I need to look at what about when x is 2. Well, if that's 2, that's going to be a 4. A 0 would work. A 2 and a 1 would work. A 2 and a negative 1 would work. And then what about 2 and a 2? Will that work? 2 squared is 4 plus 2 squared 4. That'll work. So 2 and then also the negative 2 would work, won't it? And I can go back through here and do the same thing with a negative 2, 0, negative 2, 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, 2, and negative 2, negative 2. So I can go back through and make the x negative. And that's all we're going to be able to do. So I got 5, 10, 15, 20, plus 4. There are 24 different ordered pairs that will make that true. Again, you had to sit here and list down and be able to do some different, combinations with your numbers here. So there we have it. Actually, in this case, it's technically really permutations with your numbers. But there we have problem 19. 24 is our answer to that SAT question.